Hello, I think everything's working okay. Just testing the microphone here, getting my camera set up. Let's see. Okay, I think everything's all good now. Camera should be working, hopefully the microphone's working. Let me just double check. Hello, hello. Right, I think it's all good now. So yeah, welcome back to another Create live stream. I wasn't available last week because I was playing football and I fell on my wrist and it totally destroyed everything around the wrist, so I couldn't use a controller. It was actually quite painful to grip or to move my fingers or anything. So like when you're using this on Dreams, you're kind of rotating all the time as well. So like I just couldn't do it. It still hurts a little bit. Like it's still a little bit bruised. I don't know if you can see a little bit. It's mostly on like this side and here. It's still kind of yellowish. So it takes me a little longer to recover, but it seems to be getting a little better. At least I can still use the controller now. So in the last stream we were looking at designing this park area for the survival horror game, and I think we like got like the basic structure for the whole park now. I remember one stream we had to like just work on the maze. That's how long it took, and then we had the duplication issue. So we've got some optimization still to do because a lot of these plants here, I think it was like 3 or 4 copies takes up like 1%. So I'll need to optimize a few things here and there, but roughly we know that's where the foliage is going to go. We've got like a little park here. The only other thing I need to do really is update like the walls and the fence, because this fence that I chose to use basically, it's not so good thermal wise. Once you start adding up, the gameplay thermal goes quite high, so I'm going to have to replace the fence and the wall or make my own one um, pretty shortly, and then at least we can put it around the park. This was a really dodgy bridge that I was just sort of putting together, and I need to figure out where I'm going to put this lion statue because this is part of a puzzle. So we've got the lion statue, we've got the fox statue, and then we've got like the angel statue in the middle, and they're all kind of connected to help you kind of get through the level. So I'm just going to quickly bring the chat up and then I'll get started. So hopefully we can optimize this scene today. We can put in some added details like get some vines and some flowers and little lily pads for the pond, these kind of things. And then once we have all that, we can optimize and see what kind of works out. the best. We've kind of got like the character camera sorted, but I still need to actually implement the actual character, so it's not too far off. Like I said, since I hurt my wrist, I couldn't really create, even off stream I couldn't do anything. Plus we need to make this building, this little security building here, so we need to sculpt that. But I think that's all we really need to do, because I'm quite happy with the structure of how the rest of the park is kind of taking shape. Just need to figure out what I'm going to do with some blockages like this, you know. I'm probably going to put like some of the bushes like around there, you know, so you can't actually go off that path, you know. So, but I'm going to have to redo all this anyway, because I need to optimize the sculpts that I'm using, because they're too gameplay heavy, you know. We'll put it like that for now. So let's see, what should I do first? Greetings, Bovaretta. It's nice to see your crinkly presence again. Yeah, so I think today is just going to be about getting some extra little details that we can put around the map. Try and optimize, build a wall, a fence, you know, something that doesn't take up so much thermal. And just make the thing look a bit prettier, because I think structure-wise we're pretty good to go. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this lion here, because I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do puzzle-wise with this. If I'm going to make it rotate, or, you know, there's a button that you need to press on it, you know, to get some kind of combination. Because if I make it turn, I'm going to have to basically like delete the body and just have the head, so I can turn the head, you know. It's a little easier with the fox, because the fox has a small head. This lion has a big mane. So I think if I carefully delete, it might look okay. But I don't want to do it just yet until I'm absolutely certain that that's what I want to do. So I just need to figure out if I'm going to place it that way, this way, that way, you know. Like it could be... Because I think once you enter this part of the park, like if you see the lion, it would be better if it was like facing you already, you know, because if it was facing this way, you know, it's not so interesting. Facing this way could look good too, you know, as long as you see the face, it kind of draws you towards it, you know. Just I'm thinking maybe putting it on like a side view. That way it can take up a little more space in the middle here. Let me see. I'll make a little path that kind of goes towards it. Just for people that want to read what's written here. Because I'll probably put something. This monument represents some kind of historic moment in the town's history. Right. Libus the lion, the park's mascot. Libus or Libus? Yeah. Let's take a note of that so we don't forget. I'll put it here. Let's see. Right, text displayer. It has to be in the scene, right? In sticker mode. It's a long time since I've used this. Sticker depth. Right, let's just write, and plus we're going to have to make sure the colours work. Maybe it can have a secret hatch on the back with a tiny red button or something. Yeah, right on its butt. Yeah, it's just to figure out if the statues are all connected, you know, or if they both have their own individual solution, you know. Lebus. Lebus the lion. Right. It's been a while since I've used this, so I think I just need to like move it in like that, right? Lebus the lion. There you go. We can put a description later, you know, once we've had some time to think about it. That looks quite good, very Greek. Could do that one as well. It's difficult when you use text because you don't want it to be too too I don't know, like casual with the text, and it just looks ridiculous, you know. So I don't really know what colour I would use. Just make it like that for just now. Lebus the lion. And then what I can do is I can just do the same thing for the fox, you know, and then just change his name to something. What's a good name for a fox? Lebus. How would you connect Lebus? Lebus and Corebus? I don't know. Just call him something like that for now. Junie. Lebus and Junie. So yeah, that gives it a bit more personality, I think. I'm gonna have to redo all this groundwork anyway, right? Alright, so we need to build this security kind of place, so right, because this is the kind of thing you can't really find assets for, I don't think, you know, it's not so common. So I'm going to try and make some for myself, but hopefully let me just use this wee guy as a reference again. Okay. Right, so we need to make some steps. enough that the door can go in the front. So let me see. Don't know, maybe just something small, because it's not like a big step, right? You don't really need to step up too much, you know. Let me get a door. The height of the door here. Make it super thin. Let's see. Just got to remember that this puppet is quite thin, but once he has like proper proportions and clothing and everything, he's going to be a bit wider, you know. So I can't make the door too thin, can't make it too big, you know. Just needs to be kind of tall enough. It's always a dilemma with doors, because I don't know if I should make them like, assume this character's like the kind of average height, or maybe a bit taller than average. So, because I think like making a door too small or too big, like you really notice it, you know. Don't know if I do something like that. Let's make it a tad wider than the door. Plus I'll need to see if the character can walk up without tripping over, because I don't really want to make like really complex kind of collision on it. So once I get the final size, I can actually go in and make this one unit. But I think it's okay for now. Let's put this together. Oops. Right, so we can just assume that's the door there. But I'm going to just delete this because I don't really need any more. Okay. So we're going to need some walls. Okay. I'll make them thin because I don't know, there's two ways I could do it. I could do like an outside wall and an inside wall and texture them differently, or I could just use a sticker and just like obviously texture one side one and texture the other side another. So could work both ways, but I'll keep it thin for just now, and we'll see what works best when it comes down to it. Right. So let me get the floor as well. Right, I'll take away the door just now, so we can walk in and out, and then figure out how big this area is going to be. So I'm going to have to fill it, not with many things, just like a chair, you know, a table, some security cameras, nothing too crazy. So let me see. Because I feel like once you start filling it in with things, you don't want to make it too cramped. You still need to have some space to like walk and move around. So we'll put this floor for now, and then we'll see. Wow, 99, that went up pretty high. Right, let me just fix that first. Oh, the floor actually like disappeared. Yeah, so I'm going to have to optimize today as well, because we're getting to that point now where you can only do so much without optimizing the scene. So let's see, what else can I put in just now? Just put in like an office chair. In fact, this one looks quite good. Yeah, fits does the job, I think. But I noticed there was a collection of office things. Let me just put collections. Let's see. That would be good for the hospital, to put in like a little game for them to play. This leather sofa would be cool too. Right, see, I don't want to fill it with too many things. Like 3% for the phone, it's quite high. So this is the thing, when you try and decorate too many things, too many environments in the one scene, you need to really be careful, because like I was reusing like the same assets, so it makes it easier. But then when you start to make a scene like a room that's like the complete opposite of what you're making, it gets a bit challenging, you know. So we'll put these here. I don't know if I'll do one or two. Maybe I'll put in a couple. Spread it out a wee bit. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to start optimizing, because we're getting to that point now where I'm probably going to start breaking things. So let me do it the cheap way. Did that even change anything? I don't even think it did. But these railings are a big problem. I think I'm just going to take them all out because look, 1% gameplay just for one of them. So no, we can't have that. We'll design a very, very simple one. It's frustrating when that happens because like the graphics thermal isn't that bad, but sometimes the gameplay one just derails all that. See, even with the big ones, it's basically the same. It's going to get rid of them all. Like, I hate taking things away because I like to have like a little reference to play around with, but I'd rather, once the thermal gets a bit high, I'd rather have as much breathing room as possible, you know? Okay. I think it was just the entrance maybe? Yeah, just like the bit that opens up. But look, it's a way down at 38% now. It was a way up at like 58 or something, 68. So at least that's that sorted. And I'll need to figure out what I'm going to do with this wall. If I'm actually going to make like a nice looking wall, or if I'm just going to put like a sticker on top of it and then just say that's it, that's good enough, you know. Oh yeah, there was these ones for the entrances as well. Let me just take those away. Is there any more? Okay. I think that was all of those fences. Right, what else is quite high? So we've got the benches, but is it going to make much of a difference? Not really. So there's no point in reducing the detail if it's not really going to do anything, you know. Let's see. Yeah, like that helped a little bit. Not much, but it did help. Let's see. Back up again. Right, it went down again. Weird. Yeah, look, try to reduce the detail on this, and then there's like a little timer that comes up. Clearly it's pretty damn heavy. Look, because every time I put it down it goes by 2%, 1%, and it still looks okay, but I'm probably going to have to just take this asset out, because I think in the long run it's probably too much, you know. This is the only bad thing about using the community assets, because you know that you could make something with like 1%, you know. That's a bit easier to manage, you know. Right, so that went down by a few percent just by knocking this down. And this is just like a simple pole, you know. Hey Joshua Drake, nice to see you again. Hope you're doing well. We'll just try to optimise some of the assets here on this park. Everything's getting a bit a bit too high, graphics wise. Let's see, does that affect it much? Put it down by like 1%, but see, stuff like this, like see these little handles, like you really don't need high thermal on a handle that's a background detail, you know. So like these handles, I think it's because of the curve, right? Because it's a curve. Oh God. So this is a curve. It's I think it's what's making it worse. When detailing, there's an option on the side that shows you the detail of the things compared to their size. Usually it's the big thing, like the ground, that takes up a lot of the detail, so try toggling it. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. The ground is massive. And the lion as well. I guess we could have considered that, you know. Because, like, the ground right now, it's like... just like our grass, right? Just a very simple thing, but yeah, the size kind of distorts it, right? Let's see if we can get it down a bit without looking too bad, you know. 87, 86, so it got it down a little bit. This fountain though is madness. It's just a stupid fountain. Right, 85. If there's looseness on the grass, turn it down and use the detail instead to get the loose effect. If there's looseness on the grass, there probably is. Let me see. I don't know. Here, 20%. 20% looseness. For some reason, looseness and low detail have the same effect, but I don't think looseness actually optimizes it as much. Ah, okay. So just get rid of it, basically. Yeah, I think here it's really just changing the size of the grass particles. But we can put it to 0. Hopefully that helps it a bit. But we still need to check out these handles. Hold on. 85%. Does that change anything? Seems to be alright. 84. So I mean it's like 1%. It really doesn't do too much, you know. But we can see like this object is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let me see. 84. You can see like these assets here. Like, oh my god. The sphere of graphical power. Yeah, I think that most of these will just be placeholders, so I'll be able to fix. And some of these things I didn't even use, like this tree bark. I didn't even use it. You know, it's like ground detail. See, like these things, I didn't even use these. You know. Like this line, I don't want to put the detail down too much, you know. Like, do you know what I mean? Didn't even do anything. Let's see this one. Nah. Some of them don't really change much. I think it's mostly this bush look that's causing a lot of the problems. Like see that, look. It takes a long time to push the detail down, look. And even then it didn't do much, so you can tell that just logically that's where the problem is, how complex the sculpt is. But yeah. Let me just bring up the thermal anyway, just so I can see. Like if I, oh, not if I get rid of all of that. That's crazy though, because that's just a copy, but look, 31% of things I didn't actually use, you know? Like there's no other copy in this map, it's just what was here. So I think I used, was that the ground tile I used? I don't know, did I use that one? I can't remember. But there's a lot of things here, like I didn't use these. This tree I didn't use. This tree I didn't use. So I literally think I just used, yeah, I just used this tree. So I've got 2 trees here that I never used. I don't need this one. See, I could just use like this tree, like just to add some variety, but I don't think it's necessary, you know. We have 2 fountains, but technically I only used this fountain for the platform for the statue, so it was just a temporary thing. I don't actually need this, you know. So if I delete this, I probably get quite a bit of thermal back as well. So I used that. I used this. These statues, I think I just used this one, right? Yeah, did I use this one? Right. What did I use for the... No, that's right, because I used... This one had a statue already, right? Don't know why I have two. I think I changed the colour maybe on one of them. But yeah, I didn't use these ones, so I don't actually need to use those. Same with this fountain, like I didn't use it. It's only 1%, it's not that bad, but these little things are cool, but again I didn't use them. 4%. Let me see how much that uses. Not this one here. Nothing. I don't know if I used it or not. Right, 2%, 2% for that. Like, I don't really need that. I've got plenty of other things that look like leaves. This branch, I don't know if I already used it, but I think the branch is like a connection of this one. I don't think this would use anything, yeah, because it's just like a mush. Let's see the wood. 11%? That used 11%. How is that 11%? I don't understand. I really don't. Like, is it that complicated? And this one is 6%. So it's a nice detail, but I don't actually need it, and I don't need this one either. So there you go, 52%. I think we should be safe now, because the only other assets I need to... Oh, I didn't use this one either, did I? Or did I? I did. The only other assets I really need to do is make my own wall, but I can just put a sticker over it, make it really cheap. We just need to build this little office room, build our own little fence and gate, and then obviously you've got the inventory, so you're going to have some things like the bolt cutters, the gun, the knife, you know, the character that you import. You know, they're all going to take up graphics as well, but I think 52% for what we have. Plus I can always delete this foliage here and find a better optimized one, and I think that would be more than enough. So let me just save that just now. Much lighter version, and now we can get back to finding some supplies here, but I don't know if I'll use these ones I've already found, because I mean I don't really like using assets that's like 3%, you know. Look, 3%. You know, like, I know it's 3% because there's more than one piece, but ideally you want something a bit lighter, right? But we've got some room to play around with just now, so let's just try and find like a TV monitor or something. What was in that collection? Retro TVs and monitors. How-tos, guides related to the topic, yet nothing. I think I could just use something like that, because I think I used this in the hospital as well, because it does give that kind of horror vibe, you know, like it's kind of grey and dark and kind of horrible. Yeah, let's just go with this one. There we go. And we'll get 2 variations, so I think this is supposed to simulate that it's looking at a lake with a moon. Looks quite nice. That's one thing I've still not tried to do in Dreams, like actually paint, you know, and try and make something. Like there's a puzzle I want to make in the hospital where you're looking at portraits or some kind of landscape, but I just don't have the skills to paint. But maybe I'll set myself a challenge and see if I can do it, you know. So maybe I'll keep let me see how many TVs are we going to use, because it's just a park, right? It doesn't need to be like, oh, tons of security everywhere, you know. I'm just gonna sit them all together. Make them a bit smaller. Still might be a bit big. Do I use a community table, or do I just make my own trashy one? Because technically it's not like a focal point, so it's not like I need to make anything too crazy, you know. Plus, this desk needs to kind of fit with the parameters of the room, you know. You know what? I think I'll just make my own. It's not really a table, you know. It's like one of those surfaces that just goes across. Like it's not really a table, you know. Right, so I need to figure out. Are they going to go right? I don't know if the wall's going to be like right there or not. Let's see. I'll pretend we're going to build a wall here. Right, let's see that size, if that kind of fits. Oh. Look, there's another one. Follow me. It's my co-op partner. Okay. So once we step up, right. So the height of the door, it's like right there, you know. So I'd probably make it just a tad bigger, just a little tiny bit. But at least it's going up the steps without too many problems, you know. Right, so once we enter here, okay. So it's just going to be like a little room. So maybe like here I can put like, I don't know, like people's belongings, you know, like some bags and stuff just kind of lying about. Maybe put like a trash can there that fell over and everything's all messy. Let me think about the windows. Because I'm going to close these blinds anyway, so you're not actually going to see outside. Or maybe I'll let you see outside one of them. We'll see. Because I think it would be cool to put like the moonlight inside the building, so it's like natural light that's coming through, you know. Yeah, that chair could be a bit bigger. The phone's a bit big. Oh. Right, this is collidable when really it should not be. Right, so the size of this file cabinet is a little small. So now I just need to figure out how I'm going to like piece it all together. So let me see, make that a bit bigger. So it's going to annoy me now because see every time I rewind, it keeps doing that loading thing, and I think it's because I manipulated this foliage, and for some reason the game's like doesn't like it, you know. I think I'm going to have to just delete it because you know that way where it's like I can make it work, you know, like I can find a way and I can actually make it work, but at the same time it's giving me a headache already, so I'm just going to delete everything. So if it doesn't if it doesn't work for me now, just get rid of it. That rewind thing drives me mad. Yeah, it's insane. I hate it. Because like I'm on the PS5, right? So that shouldn't be happening at all. Like it's even worse on the PS4, no doubt. But nah, it shouldn't be. But yeah, this asset, it's a good asset. But unfortunately, look, could you see that? Do you see all that stuff that's around it? Look. Nah, it's way too laggy. I'm on the PS4 Slim, so for me it happens when I've got like 20 assets. Oh god. Yeah, for me it only happens with like very specific things. So like these bushes, for example. It's the only thing that's doing it to me. But I'm not having that every time to rewind or like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So I think I just had a copy in here. So yeah, I'm being ruthless now and trying to get rid of as much as I can. Right, there we go, and it was just 2%. 2% graphics, you know, but I still have one little fence here. There we go. So there we go, super optimized now. I'll probably delete this later if it causes me problems as well. Although I think the best thing about creating on a PS4 Slim is that I know for a fact it will run fine on the PS4 Pro and PS5. Yeah, that's the best thing because you can just optimize for one and it will optimize for all of them, you know. So I still have my PS4, so I'm going to go back and once this scene is ready, I'll test it on a PS4. I'll see if it lags. Hopefully it doesn't, because I really don't want to have to optimize even more. But I would probably optimize like on the PS4 because you can just save online, right? So I'll probably just switch over to the PS4 and keep working on it until it works, you know. Because most of the time, if I get lag during the editor, I can't stand it and have to optimize it like mad so it runs nicely. Yeah, I don't know if you remember from the old subject demo, there was like a computer room, and for some reason, the desk with the computer on it was incredibly laggy. Just in play mode, not in edit mode, just in play mode. So when you're actually walking through that scene, it was very slow. And then on the PS5, it was fine. But it did the same thing when I started to mess around with it. That little clock in the corner. And yeah, it just drives me nuts. Guess the same goes for the PC dev too. I've got a potato PC. I know for a fact any game I make will probably run fine on anyone else's PC. Yeah, optimization ain't a problem for you. That's the best way to look at it. That's weird. Was it a fleck overdraw thing? Did it have static? The PC? No, I don't think so. I don't know why. Because it was like a whole unit. It was a desk. It had a PC, and it had like the monitor, and it had the actual tower, you know. But I looked at it, and it didn't look anything special. But for some reason, Dreams was like, nope. And I don't know, because like normally they say like in Dreams, you know, every time you make an edit and you rewind and you edit and you edit, it adds to like a long history of things. So I don't know if you work on one asset and you keep changing it all the time. I don't know if that builds up a lot of memory inside of it. I don't know if that's a thing. If it is, then it means you would need to build something like perfectly, you know, first time. So let me see. So when you enter here, you're obviously going to want to enter the room. You're not going to want to just pick up something here. So I'll probably make the fire extinguisher like over there on the wall or something, you know. So I'll put this a little bit more into the corner. Not too much, but just enough. Let's build this out a wee bit. Bring it out a wee bit more as well. So I could fill out details here, you know, like put like a mug, put some papers, you know, like some files, you know. Or I could just keep it really simple. Let's see. Let's see what I can get away with before I need to start tweaking and adding a bit more detail. So I've already got the bolt cutters in the inventory, but I'm just going to get them just now, just to. I think I used this one. Yeah, I think it was this one I used. I'll just put this one just as a reference, I think. And look at that, like 0 thermal. You know what I mean? I don't understand this game sometimes. Like, why was this 0 thermal? Why did it not give me 1? Unless it was like 0.7 or something, you know, like. But anyway, the bolt cutters. What am I talking about? I was talking about the fire extinguisher, but the fire extinguisher is a different part. Maybe there's like a little. See, I don't know if I'll put them on a table or if I'll make them like. I'll make them like kind of sit up like that, you know, like. You know, they're kind of leaning against something, you know. I don't know if that would be a bit better, you know. But I think the size of this area looks okay so far. It's not too bad. So if that's the case, then I'll just fill out the rest of the walls. Imagine you enter that office and hear the phone ringing, pick it up, and there's a zombie moaning on the other end. Yeah, that would be funny. I'm still not sure yet, but you're gonna find like a walkie-talkie. I just don't know if I'm going to find it here. Could find it here, but I want it to be like part of the story, so you have to pick it up because the other character has one. So I don't know if they both find a walkie-talkie and then it's like, you know, are they connected already, or you know, was it like 2 police officers, like, you know, one was here and one left the park, you know, and then the other guy found the other one, you know, there has to be some kind of story connection to it, I guess. Or if one of the characters finds one and then, or finds both and then just gives it to the other character, you know, that's possible as well. I'm going to have to see what I'm going to do about this wall, because obviously if I make you see through the blinds, I'm going to have to cut a big hole. Right. I'm going to have to fix all these walls anyway because they're not high enough. See what I mean? I'm going to have to cut like a hole. Unless I just close them. I'll need to see what I'm going to do. But we'll leave them there for now. And I think all I had to do for the door was make it a little taller, maybe. Ah, but that's right, hold on. The stupid 4. Let me see. I'm gonna have to Bring this one down a bit. Is that the floor I just put down? That right. Oh god, I don't know. Hold on. Just bring it all the way down. Right, and then just bring this one over, and we'll fix the height in a minute.